with everybody talking about hitting rock bottom and there's the bounce is coming and everything's going to be looking good from now on, I've got some bad news. Let's get into this. Okay, we're looking at Bitcoin. Okay, and right now it's at 28,915.75. What we saw here, and I've got the daily chart pulled up here. Let me make it a little bit bigger for you. So this is the daily, and what do we see? We see a continuation on a downturn. Higher are lower highs, as you see here, going down, going down, going down. Lower lows, lower lows, lower lows. That just tells you one thing: it's going down. Look on this day here. Looks like we did hit bottom, somewhat of a bottom, and had a little bounce. But we have to look at this thing on the bigger picture. Going back out to the monthly, this is what we see. You always have to look at the big picture, what's happening. Did it hit off the bottom? Yes. Did it bounce? Yes. But what happened? It only bounced a little bit. It did not go through the bottom, but it didn't bounce off of it thoroughly. We are coming to the end of the month. We got a few days left in this month, and we'll see what happens with the next month. But this thing is going to have to go like to 40 grand to get moving to the other side, to be a bullish turnaround, to be a bullish reversal. What I see is a continuation of this bearish trend, and it's not drastic, but it is going to continue down. Are we going to see 22s? Possibly even lower. Okay, let's look at Ethereum. Same thing. We're on a down candle. This is strat. We're going to be talking strat now, okay? This is a 2 to the downside, a huge 2 to the downside. Okay, so what do we have? We have 1, 2 green candles, 2 months, that was March and February, trying to get up, trying to recover from itself, but it didn't. It did not. These are candles that were in the inside. This is a 1 because it's inside. Then it broke above. That's a 2. Then we had a 1 that went up and turned into a 2, came back down. And guess what? Followed by another 2 to the downside, testing the bottom here, which it looks to me like it's possibly going to just hover around there. And then next month's candle forms right around this area. And where do you think it's going to go? Possibly going to head down. Okay? Sorry to be the bearer of bad news, but that's what's happening in the crypto world. Same thing with XRP. Monthly, down, beyond our low point here, beyond our trend line. This is a 2 to the downside. And what's happening? It's still continuing to go down. Let's look at the weekly. We have seen this trend just continually go down, down, down. We are hovering. We're sitting on the trend line. What's going to happen in the next week? Possibly break it. It's tested it. It went below it, came back up. But this right here is when the stock market just went completely haywire. So tell me, and exactly somebody out there, tell me how the stock market does not influence crypto market. I'm sorry, it does. What happens in the stock market or the dollar affects crypto. Everybody said at the very beginning a few years ago when Bitcoin was pushing to 20 grand markets, nobody can mess with this. I'm sorry, it's getting influenced. It's getting some sort of influence. When the markets are down, it's going down. Okay, that's just what's happening. I don't know if it's sentiment, everyone freaking out on the stock market, and then they're bringing their freakness over to the crypto markets. I don't know what's going on, but when the markets crash, when the stock markets crash, the cryptos crash. We've seen it. We have seen it with our own eyes. This shows you exactly this 2 to the downside. And then we followed by an inside candle, which again, indecision. It didn't break above, didn't break below. And then we have our 2 to the downside this last week. I'm not picking on a Dogecoin here or any cryptos, but they're all doing the same thing. This is Doge. Do you see this? Same exact thing. When the market crashed, you had a huge drop, followed by a week of indecision. People didn't know what to do. Came down here, people are selling off. Okay, that's what happened. These guys that got choked up here are here thinking, okay, it's reversal time and we're going to make our millions, we're going to get rich. Boom. Guess what? You're a bag holder. You are holding the bag, meaning the people that invested a long time ago getting out. They're getting their money. They're walking out with your money. You're a bag holder. Don't worry, I've been there. Everybody's been there. But again, the crypto market, what I see is a continual downtrend. I don't see this getting any better anytime soon. We're going to continue down this track. I hope I'm wrong, but we're going to continue down this track as this just hovers. This downtrend that we're on is just going to continue to go down unless something crazy happens. Okay, here's the monthly on Doge. Again, what do we see? We say falling hammer here, followed by a 2 to the downside, a big one that crossed the trend line, and guess what? It's just hovering right there again, as we saw on the weekly. Okay, so I don't see this reversing unless the next month's candle starts here and it surpasses this point here. And it has to do it with conviction. It just can't touch this line and then back off and then everyone thinks, great, it's a reversal. No, that's not what's happening here. Remember, look at the big picture. Look exactly what's happening. You just see it. I mean, you have to be blind not to see this. And that's the problem with not being able to read charts properly, that you're going to let your emotions dictate your reality. And the reality is right there, what these candles are telling you. And using the strat, you understand what's happening here. You understand the psychology of the market and why people are dumping and why people are buying. And once you understand that, you are so far ahead of the game. You don't need all these million indicators out there to tell you what's happening in the market real time. These candles are showing you. That is the beauty of the strat. You've got to understand what's happening with the market. You have to understand the psychology. This is the S&P 500 just to get a look at what's happening in the market. Again, what do we see here? We see a doji candle forming right here on the monthly. And what does this show us? That the price went down. It tested the bottom, went up, but it didn't go up, but maybe less than 50% of the previous candle, then came back down. But we're going to watch this and see what happens. It has to surpass this. It has to surpass 4307 in the next month to start here, to start up around here and surpass that, to be a 2 to the upside. Then we see a 2 to the down, 2 to the down, with a 2 to the up, showing us that's a possible reversal. I mean, we could have a 2 to the up and then it could just tank and then end up being a 3 and just collapsing. But let's be positive here. If it can get across this with some conviction and test this upper bar here, this trend at 4480, then we might be able to see a reversal. Again, this is the monthly. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 months of a downtrend. We've been in a downtrend for 5 months. Could you have made money within this? Of course you can. You can scalp. You can be a sniper and just get in and get out all day long. But you better know what you're doing. And the only way you're going to do that is by knowing price action and knowing how to use the strat. And this is the best benefit of using the strat, is real-time price action. You can see exactly what's happening, and then you could see with time frame continuity, meaning look across all the different time frames. Be careful trading out there, and we'll catch you next time.